Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Everyday Carry for the Everyday Guys. So today we are going to be talking about weapon lights, particularly the Trustfire brand. We're going to be looking at the GM21 and the GM23. The GM21 more because that's the one I've been EDCing. I want to talk about the concept of reviewing things that go onto firearms or just everyday carry gear. If you're going to review EDC gear, you've got to spend some time with it. And I do want to apologize for everyone who's been asking about these reviews. I know these things are now selling in South Africa and people have asked for the review of it so they can make a decision as to whether they should buy it or not. But I've got to spend time with these gear items. So I do apologize, it takes time, but I've got to live with them. I've got to get to know them. I don't like just doing unboxing reviews. Oh, come to the range, shoot the gun with a light on, and that is it. I want to live with it. I want to know what it's like to operate it. I want to know what it's like to train with it, right? So with that said, I think at this point, for me personally, the Trustfire GM21 particularly is probably the best mini weapon mounted light or compact weapon mounted light I've gotten my hands on. Now granted, we don't get Surefire or Streamlight here in South Africa. We do get them, but they are ridiculously expensive. So my sample size of mini weapon mounted lights extend to the Olight range and the other Trustfires and the other Olight. And then what I consider is a full-size weapon-mounted light is something like the Olight PL Pro, which I generally EDC. However, the mechanics behind this weapon-mounted light make me want to reconsider my choice of EDCing the PL Pro. Guys, the firearm is empty and safe. I'm going to drop the slide now just for ease of manipulation. Okay, so this is the GM23 and I want to get this out of the way because I didn't really spend that much time with this light, so I want to, sort of full disclosure here. Simply because I consider the GM23 a subcompact option. Think of it like this. This is Olight's PL Mini 2, which I consider a subcompact light. And this is the Trustfire GM23. They are virtually the same profile. The Olight, I believe, is something like 600 lumens. The GM23 is 800 lumens. So you are getting more lumens, and this is USB rechargeable, which I'll talk about in a second. Pretty much everything I say for the GM21 also goes for the GM23. I just lived with the GM21, and I'll explain why. So if I slot the GM23 onto my firearm, that just doesn't look right. You know what I mean? My normal fingers are just about accessing that pressure pad. This would work on a subcompact pistol. And that's why my recommendation is if you want a subcompact flashlight and not an Olight, then this would be something that you can look at, okay? If you look at the GM21, this I would consider a compact pistol for your compact firearms. You see how the pressure pad lines up with the front of the trigger guard, so it's easy to put on and off. And that is why I lived with I sort of trained and EDC'd the GM23. It just makes more sense for my weapons platform. Now, these boxes come in this shape and you get pretty much the same thing in both boxes. You get a USB recharging cable, which is this here, and then you get some tools to switch out the mounts if you so desire. Oh, and you also get this. So here's an example of why it's important to EDC something before you review it. So you see this piece of plastic rubber situation, okay? This is supposed to cover the micro USB recharging slot right there. This lasted about all of 35 seconds before I just chucked it. So I've never used it. I don't intend to use it because it just makes absolutely no real sense, okay? The GM23's recharging port is in the rear. So that kind of makes sense. And it also comes with one of these rubber dust caps, which just discard them. It's like It's a waste. It doesn't make sense. Just get rid of it. You know, if you can use your cell phone cable to recharge this, and as you can see, I have done so. I don't use these cables. That's the first cool thing about this micro USB rechargeable. You have a charging cable for this weapon light in your house. If you lose this charging cable and you have a cell phone or any other kind of electrically USB recharge device, you can charge this weapon mounted light. One of the things that I wouldn't say irks me about Olight, I appreciate them taking the time to customize their own little recharging port, but it does mean if you lose your Olight charging cable, you have to buy another one. Okay, and they aren't cheap, and I just see it's a cool idea. It's taking something that didn't need fixing and making it something that does need fixing. I mean, we're charging our cell phones, most of our cell phones with micro USB. Make this micro USB and you have a charging cable pretty much anywhere. So very cool, and they both are micro USB rechargeable. Now, the one I've been running, this is literally competition to the Olight PL Mini original. Have a look at this. I don't know how Olight allowed them to get away with this, but the form factor, same like the PL Mini 2 and the GM23, are virtually the same, although I do think I like the blockiness of the GM23. I think it looks cooler on the pistol. What do you guys think? I think it looks cool, right? The Olight the Olight E is 400 lumens. The GM23 is 510 lumens. But here's where the deal changes. To activate the light on the Olight, you've got these pressure pads, which I don't like. They're spongy pressure pads. To activate the light on the Trustfire, it's like a button pressure pad. I'm going to try to get this super close. There is virtually hardly any movement. The light is now on before this light comes on. What does that mean? And like I said, guys, I know I'm flagging my hands sometimes here, but we are empty and safe. I can't do this review otherwise. What this means is that when I get my full two-handed grip on the firearm, this is how I grip a firearm, right? This is my everyday training grip. This is how I hold a firearm. I can, with my support hand, activate the light, right? Look at where my trigger finger is. With my support hand, I can activate the light. Look at this finger here. It takes the slightest twitch of that finger to activate the light. And I can press and hold if I want it in momentary. So this light has two modes, momentary and constant. No strobe, no lower lumen mode. Press and hold for momentary, tap for constant. Now that ability to control the light without having to defeat my grip on my firearm at all is a game changer for me. Okay, I have a full two-handed grip, and when I press, because the button press is so light, I'll try to show this. Look at muzzle movement, right? Because the button press is so light, hardly any movement in the firearm. I'm looking at my dot and it's hardly moving when I activate that light. So that for me is a game changer. That suggests to me someone thought, let's figure out a way to do these buttons better. And you know what? Sometimes maybe it does make sense to take what has already been made and improve on. I'm 100% cool with that. You know, I can guarantee you right now, if this flashlight or this weapon mounted light had the word Surefire, Streamlight, even Olight on it, it would be the talk of the absolute town. Now, I don't want to show you mine. Mine looks like this with the paint coming off because I have tried to shove this into every holster I can find, right? I can tell you that Southwest Holsters makes a holster for this. I can tell you that it'll fit into some of your Olight PL Mini 1 holsters, but not all of them. This light can also tell you that. And people will say, why? But it's a freaking tool. You know, I'm not going to be gentle with it. I want you to know what you can and can't do with this thing. One other thing, have a look at this for fit and finish. We haven't even gotten to stats and testing. Have a look at fit and finish. So this is the PL Mini 1, right? Not a big deal that it does this, but have a listen to this. Can you hear that? There's play in this. Have a listen to the GM21. No play or movement at all. This thing sits tight, guys. I don't know how Trustfire did their QD lever, but they've got the mount on this thing for a Glock 19 at least down. There's absolutely no movement in this light. In terms of build quality, they say it's splash proof and impact resistant up to like 1 meter. As you can see from the footage, I tested it. How do you test it? You chuck the flashlight around a bit and let it get rained on. And that's how you test whether the flashlight is splash proof. I can tell you, even with the micro USB port open, it is completely fine to get this guy wet. It has not affected the light at all. Now coming back to that button press, okay, the awesome thing about that is that if you are sort of using your flashlight or your weapon light tactically, and you are using it in momentary as you should for sort of tactical use, you can do that with a ton of control. Now throw in some B-roll here, and what you're going to see is me basically working my house with the Trustfire GM21, both using it sort of tactically and as an umbrella light. Now the cool thing about that brilliant button press is when you use it as an umbrella light, and what I mean by umbrella light is think of a high ready position, right? And just activating the flashlight in momentary on, it creates an umbrella lighting situation where the light reflects off the ceiling, and that's really good for entering environments where you don't know what's ahead of you, especially if you're working as a team. One can umbrella light and the other one can sort of clear, as an example. Also, if you want a quick burst of light to illuminate a large area, umbrella lighting is really useful. But you also see that moving with the light, using it in momentary on, is so easy because I'm not defeating my grip at all. It's comfortable. It's just a really well designed button. Probably the best button on a weapon mounted light that I've come across. I think the only people who can really compete with this is the toggle that you get on the Surefire, the X300 series. But in terms of button presses, I think this has to be the best I've felt so far. I haven't felt the Streamlight TLR, what's it, 7 or 8? I can't remember. I haven't felt those yet, so I don't know how they feel. So like I said, it's the best I've felt. Spec-wise, on the GM21, you are getting 510 lumens, 75 meters throw, and 1450 candela. This is more of a flood than a throw, right? On the GM23, you're getting 800 lumens at 90 meters and 2025 candela. Again, these lights, all of these lights are more flooders than throwers. They're more for interior close quarter usage. If you want something with range, you're looking at something like this. You're looking at something like the Surefire X300, that type deal. Talking about range, guys, I lost my range footage. So I don't know what I did, but I lost my range footage. I will be honest, the ranges have been closed here in Cape Town. I'm about 80 to 100 rounds in on this light. I'll chuck in a little bit. I think I got like 4 or 5 rounds worth of range footage. I really apologize. I know it's really bad on my part. I lost my range footage. I can't freaking believe it. But I am going to go to the range again in about a week or two's time, and I'll film that and I'll just put it out for everyone to see on my various social medias that the light is recoil capable. I have also used it with my carry ammo, which is Winchester Ranger 127 grain plus P, and it works fine. I can confidently say, even though I do apologize that I can't show you, that the GM21 and the GM23 can handle the recoil of a Glock 19 with carry ammo as well as range ammo. This button, and I know I've said this before, is a click button like you'd click a mouse. The advantage of that is you don't find yourself doing this. Do you see what's happening to the muzzle of my firearm? Right? It's dropping because there's no positive click. I overpress. Because the sponge, you end up pressing harder than you need to. With the Trustfires, which are like mouse clickers, you just give it a tap and you're good to go. What's also nice is that on both lights, you get a battery light indicator. I think you saw it earlier on with the outside tests I did. That turns red when it is running low and green once it is fully charged. As you can see, this is a runtime test. You can see there is a bit of dim down after about I think like the first 20 to 25 minutes. Realistically, you're not going to constant on a light for 25 minutes, especially not one like this. This is more of a, if I could put it strangely, a bedside light for your firearm. It's not something that you want to use at great distance or for great lengths of time in constant on. The runtime test I'll show you, get your 75 minutes at least out of a single full Trustfire GM21 charge. Now on to holsters. I've been EDCing this in one of Southwest Holster's Vipers. Really cool holster. The nice part again of that switch, look where my finger goes when I draw it straight from the firearm. I can, and I'll show you in B-roll, I can draw and activate this light straight out of the holster, and it doesn't affect my draw stroke at all because of that button press. It sits on the trigger guard and is so easy to activate. You don't overpress. Now guys, these are from TorchSA right now. They are available. In the video description below, I have a discount code for TorchSA, and it's for anything. You get 10% off anything from TorchSA. So if you want to buy something, I think that discount code is going to be active for the next 31 days, and it's 10% off anything from TorchSA. So if you are looking for this, definitely jump on it. I am going to have this holster on my website soon. I've got Southwest holsters on my website. I'm trying to get more. It's a bit difficult with the lockdown. This weapon mounted light, as well as the GM23. The 23 if you run a subcompact, right? If you're running something like a shield, that kind of deal, then the 23 is going to make sense because the buttons are going to sit where your finger would be able to reach them. In terms of survivability, look, feel, function, I am more than happy to EDC this as I have been. I have no problem. They work every single time. As I said, I'm sorry about the range footage. I've got nearly 100 rounds through this with carry ammo as well. I don't foresee any issue going forward, and I haven't seen any issue up until now. I've been EDCing it with great comfort, and I think they're a few $100 cheaper than the Olight. So unless something changes here, I don't see why you would go PL Mini 2 other than pedigree. And pedigree is worth it, right? Pedigree is something. Your people work hard to get that industry respect. So I'm all for that, and that makes sense to me. Same as Surefire, Streamlight. These guys are mentioned in the highest regard because they've been there. Trustfire now has to earn that respect, and they're off to a really good start. Guys, please remember, in the video description below is a discount code, 10% off everything at TorchSA's online store. The link to them is also in the video description. So if you want anything, any kind of flashlight, pretty much any kind of light, TorchSA is the place to go. That is it, guys. I'm going to see you in the week for a review. I'm getting some Opsman lights. I don't know much about them. I'm keen to see what Opsman has to offer. I'm getting a few weapon lights from them as well. So we will see. And then gear patches. Gear patches are go. So if you ever buy anything on my affiliate link, I'm going to hook you up with a gear patch, a EDC for the EDG gear patch. That is definitely happening. I expect to get the patches in the week. Guys, I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. If it's something you enjoy, please consider subscribing. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, maybe subscribe to another EDC channel because we need to support our EDC community. That's it, guys. Have a good one. I'll see you soon. Thank you to Henri Bierman and TorchSA for always supporting me with this great gear and that discount code. See you soon. Have a good one. Cheers. God bless.